Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And how are you all doing today? So, it turns out that there was actually a Category 3 hurricane last night, and I was at work. So, what ended up happening was, I sort of got trapped at work for a while, and they kept holding us. So, I had to just chill out at work, no power, and try to keep doing my job. So, that was horrible. That was its own thing, but I'm happy I'm safe now. Anyway, what I'm currently doing is I am finishing up this animation, or at the very least, I'm trying to do as much as I can at the moment. So, right now, what I can animate is this jacket, and then afterwards, I'm going to try and do the hair. So, let's see this right here. I'm gonna go to tool. Actually, I may want to use a thicker brush, so let me change this over. Oh yeah, last stream I actually had an amazing turnout. So many people came to watch and sit and watch, which was really nice. So I just want to say thank you everyone for watching my previous stream. And if you guys happen to join this one, then thank you for joining. Welcome to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. This is my sit and chill stream series where you guys can just come, stay for however long you like. If you want to hear my voice or just chill out for a little while before you go back to work or before you go back doing whatever it is you are doing, then just sit back and enjoy yourself. Enjoy my nice and soothing voice. Seems as though there's still some issues in the neighborhood. I will say what's strange though is that I do have some friends who like live in other states. Like I have a friend who lives in Jersey, another one who lives in two more actually who live in Virginia, and they said that they're completely fine and that the storm just went right past them, which I think is kind of odd and crazy, honestly, how they can be largely unaffected, and then here in North Carolina, specifically Raleigh, like our power can go out for hours. Oh yeah, I was working on a picture of Chris Hemsworth while the power was out. Like I had a process sketch I was working on, and then I said, "Ooh, like the power's out. This gives me the perfect chance to just finish it." And it turned out really good. I plan on posting it to X and Instagram. Oh yeah. Some topics to talk about. I guess I could talk about the SAG-AFTRA and writers and actors strike. I mean, that's still going on, and I just don't understand why they don't think to merely just leave. I mean, so honestly, I do kind of get it. I understand why they want to stay because people are always going to think that they can change the system. But sometimes you have to go about changing the system in different ways. You can't always depend on changing the system while you're still in the system. You may have to go to a different place. You may have to establish yourself somewhere else and sort of start your own things from the ground up. And it's going to be very difficult because you can't always depend on somebody else doing things or starting things first. You have to take the chance and do it yourself because they want all these changes and they want things to be different, but you have to be willing to be that change. You can't wait for somebody else to be it. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. If everyone is waiting for somebody else to act, then nothing will get done. And if I'm being completely honest, the only reason why I haven't started my own studio yet is because I still want to get some kind of experience first before I go gung ho and just start my own studio here in Raleigh. But for real, there is the entire small business bureau. Like there are groups and factions and other companies and other places where they will pay you, they will help you to start your own business. You sort of just have to act and take the chance. Like I see so many different people online, and there are entire videos and narratives of how competitive the animation industry is and how hard it is to get your big break and to finally get just one job in the animation industry. And I'm like, if it's that hard, why don't you just start your own studio? Like, if it's that genuinely hard to get into the industry, even in something adjacent, start your own studio. Do you know, like, what could be achieved, what could happen if studios, and I'm not just talking about animation, but film and acting studios and other things like that were to sprout up across the entire US and not just be localized in Hollywood. Like there are leaps and bounds in technology. Like you don't have to remain in Hollywood or even California. You could go to these other cities, other states, other areas and start your own mini studios. Like you really okay, so I'm just gonna put things into perspective. Like, because we have the internet and because we have file transfers and file sharing, we could easily upload footage to the cloud. Like, one studio could film, and then they could have either an in-house studio or like a another business that is in a different city, and they could handle editing and production and stuff like that. And then you have animators and get in contact with some animators, and they can like composite the footage or add different effects. Oh, looks like I got a call. I will be back. One moment. So I just got a call for a brand ambassador position, and I'm very excited. Um, they were talking about having an interview tomorrow, and I said, "Ooh, that's a bit last minute. Could it be Thursday or Friday?" And the woman on the phone, I can't say her name, so, but she was very understanding, and hopefully I get an interview, and hopefully I can leave retail. Woohoo! So I'm actually very excited. This is already gearing up to be an amazing day for me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, studios and going abroad. Okay, so I haven't really dedicated much thought planning to it, but it sounds easy and simple enough. If we decentralize the media and entertainment industry from Hollywood, that can allow for very much new and diverse thought. And so when I say the word new and diverse, I don't mean left swinging. I more so think in the vein of people who are not from Hollywood and people who are not from the West. Because when you have true diverse thought and true diverse thinking, people from different cultural regions and cultural areas, you have people who show a vast array of different mindsets. Like, I'm going to tell you collectively, people in the South, country folk, like, and I'm not talking about like Midwestern country folk, but more so like Eastern, Southern colonies, like, it is a vast difference. It is almost night and day. Like in Raleigh and North Carolina and even Virginia, for example, like people are very, very kind and very, very respectful. Like it's always yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, please and thank you. And that's just the kind of environment that is here. So I definitely think that the media and entertainment industry could use more humble people. Like there would be, like I'm just telling you right now, Keanu Reeves and Henry Cavill's, like you're gonna meet at least two or three of them when you go to the South. You're not even two or three, like five or eight of them. If I'm being completely honest, like there's just so many genuinely nice people here. Nice, respectful, respect their elders, like are good, kind people. And then people on social media are like, oh my gosh, like this dude is one of the good ones. Like this guy or this actor or actress, they're so kind, they're so nice. I'm like, oh, that's just Dave. He just runs the cash. He just runs the gas station down the street. Like he's normal. He's fine. Like, but when you have a group with such consolidated importance and such a concentrated and consolidated environment, that leads to more, for a lack of a better word, stuck up and just very haughty and hoity toity people and individuals. So then, when you finally do have someone who is kind, who is genuine, and who is nice, it's almost weird seeing them because you don't really expect people to be nice in certain environments. And I do think it's a combination of factors. Like, if you go to the East United States, like along the, again, back to that 13 colonies, I will say that Christianity is definitely a big religion, especially over here. So automatically, there's going to be a lot of just respectful and kind people on the basis of that religion. At least I would personally say. I mean, and there are different factors and facets too that I've forgotten to mention or that I haven't shed a light on, but for the most part people are just kind and good people. And there's really no other way to say it or put it. People are just genuinely kind and nice and like to be good and like to help people. But like back to the industry, decentralizing media and entertainment can definitely allow for more diverse thought, more different people, more different backgrounds and experiences and takes on storytelling and story crafting. animation and the industry in general is definitely easy to pull off. So when you have different groups, different facets, different studios, and small businesses localized in different areas and expanded, it allows for there is a precedent for it now in which files, information, music can easily be transferred over the internet and over wireless connections. So it's definitely now more feasible to contact others. And then you also have things like Zoom meetings and Discord and Microsoft Teams and different sort of communication services other than phone, other than email, where if you really need to, you can see someone face to face. Like, I'm pretty sure Spindle Horse, which is Vivzy Pop's animation studio, I believe they mainly use Discord because they use Discord for a lot of their stuff. And like this isn't some like insider knowledge or secret, but like there have been like leaks of certain things and like they use Discord for a lot of their projects and for communication with each other. Dang, I'm trying to draw this line real quick. Now, on the basis of not just making original projects, but also platforms for their projects, again, they could easily go the YouTube route. Like, again, you know how many original projects and animators are on YouTube now making their own projects, making their own stuff? Like, and these are folks who are rioting and who are striking over projects and better pay. Like, you can go your own way. Like, that is definitely an option, and it definitely looks like the more feasible and practical one to merely just go your own way and do what you can. Like, and then freaking YouTubers do it. Do you know how many YouTubers start their own studios, start their own animations or film studios or logo design? Like, there are plenty of people who are starting their own studios, who are making their own businesses. Like, you could do that. And because you have experience in the industry and because you have different connections you've made, you can definitely like do something with I'm just saying because how the and I'm just going to this may like get me into hot water, but like essentially how the animation and film industry work is it's very gig based, and then it is based off of networking and your connections. So how it operates is you need to know someone who's in the industry so that they can vouch for you or that they can share different job opportunities to you and for you. And like you're telling me and all those connections you've made, like you can't find a developer or someone with industry connections or someone with their own platform or studio that would just love to have different content and new ideas. Like you could have shows out the wazoo. You don't even need IPs. You can make your own original projects and your own original stories. Like you don't need to depend on pre-existing ones like Star Wars or Disney or other stuff like that. Just make your own. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm choosing to do. Cause it looks like I'm not getting hired. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Like I have been at this for a year, applying to different jobs, applying to different positions, and ain't nobody hired me freaking yet. Ain't nobody hired me yet. Like people, like I've been applying to job after job. I keep getting that same repeated rejection letter. So I'm like, shit, I might as well start my own company. I might as well start my own studio. Like, and there are grants and there are like low interest loans for starting your own studio. Heck yeah, I'm gonna do that because ain't nobody taking a chance on me. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Is if nobody wants to take a chance on you, just take a chance on yourself. Like, just take like you are smart, you are beautiful, you are knowledgeable. Like you know what you're talking about. Take a chance on yourself for once. That's really all I can say. Stop waiting for other people to finally give you something because if you wait forever, then ain't nothing gonna change, ain't nothing gonna happen. Sometimes you have to take a future for yourself and like forget anyone who gets in your way because you can be certain that they don't care about you. That's just honest. That's just real. Like if they haven't done anything for you yet, then they don't care about you. If they're saying like, "Oh, you need to wait, you need to do this, you need to do that," and then you might get in, like they don't have your best interest in heart. They just want to control you and they just want to keep you dependent. Because honestly, that's really how the industry is. Is that they just want to keep folks dependent. And now with this strike, it's like people are seeing like, oh, like these people don't care. Like, of course they don't care. All they care about is their money. Like I'm just gonna be completely honest. That's all they care about is money and results. That's why I'm saying start your own studios and hopefully this is a learning lesson because I genuinely do hope that if writers and actors and filmmakers and animators, if they do decide to start their own studios, please do not make a Hollywood 2.0. Please do not make a California 2.0. Once you guys leave, stay away, stay far away from each other. Like, it's okay if you have maybe two or three or even four other studios in a city, but like, don't everybody migrate to the same place ever again because that's just going to cause more problems and that's just going to be a repeat in the next year or two. And don't sell your studios. I'm being completely honest. Don't sell your studios to a bigger company. Like if you can keep your studio, if you can keep your independent and original IPs, please do that. Like honestly, please do that because then again, it's the same thing where you're just going to get into the same issue of in the next year or two, you're gonna have the same strike, you're gonna have the same cutbacks and the same bad pay. Like honestly, your best bet is to go independent and stay independent. And if you don't want to fully give into that being independent, at the very least, what you can do is just This is actually a lot better. Oh, sorry, I had lost my train of thought because I was. Sorry, like I was just drawing this thing, and I'm like, ooh, this is a lot better. Let me just use the pen tool. Honestly, that's just what animation is figuring out that there are better ways to do things, so you just do those better things. What was I saying? Oh yes, do not let another. Dang it, I lost my train of thought again. Do not let there be another Hollywood 2.0. Once you guys get up on out of there, you need to leave. You need to stay away from each other, and don't let anything like that ever happen again. Cause that's how they're gonna get you. That's how they're gonna pull the okey doke on you. Is they're going to say like, oh, like these guys they're all in this one place again. Well, let's foster another freaking gatekeeping society where you have to know somebody to get into the industry. Like, no, that can never happen again. That never again. After, let this be a lesson to y'all that after everything, y'all just decide to stay put where you are and build up where you are. And there are ways, there are facets, there are ways to get stuff done and to get work done that you don't have to be around each other. Like you can just go your own route and do your own thing. Cause if this happens again in the next decade or two, I'm gonna say I told you so. I'm gonna be old man sitting in my market chair saying like, you know what, I told you so. You know, I said you should have started your own studios, and now you're just in this same position again. And then let me just zoom out. Oh, hi, Kylico. The animation is going pretty good. Thank you for stopping by. I'm almost done. I'm just adding some more details. So I finished animating the jacket. Now I am just animating the sword right now. So that's going to take me some time. I'm glad to see you here again. I'm gonna have to redraw those hands because I missed them. It's okay. Hands aren't that hard. Like I'm just. The actually funny thing is that when I was in college, people actually really liked my hands. Like they'd say, "Oh, you draw hands so good," and it's like because I take my time. Like I'm not really bothered by hands. I'm just like, if I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't do it, then it's whatever. I was trying to free draw the sword earlier, but like that was taking too much time. So then I said, you know what? There's the pen tool for a reason. I'll just use that. When you really think about it, animation is just a way to get good results without having to spend too much time on everything. Exactly. There are other tools other than the brush tool. If you can figure out a way to do something or get something done that maintains quality without needing to overachieve, or what's the proper word, of stressing yourself, then definitely do it. Use the use different brushes, use different tools, use the pen tool or the line tool. If you can, you could even use the text type tool and like type a letter. Some that actually would be like a really good piece of art, is using different like letters and different symbols and making collages of. Actually, that gives me an idea. Oh yeah, Kylico, you missed it, but earlier I was talking about the SAG-AFTRA and writer strike, and I was talking about how, since it's still going on, why don't writers and filmmakers just start their own studios and go abroad? Because there are ways now of the industry being able to be done abroad and completed abroad. You can always send footage like over the internet through emails or through different file sharing programs, and you could sort of outsource the editing or outsource the in betweening of certain things. If you really need that face to face discussion, there's also like Zoom meetings as well as Microsoft Teams, Discord. Like even Vivzy Pop's team, Spindlehorse, they do a lot of their stuff through Discord, and I'm pretty sure that's how that company was founded. Is that they just contacted each other through Discord and used that. Oh yeah, of course. AI made influencers. Hatsune Miku was an entire thing in the early 2010s. Like she freaking took off. The only reason why Hatsune Miku isn't as big in the United States as it is in places like Japan is because like there was the whole like not demonization, but more so like the bullying of anime nerds and like people who indulged in different overseas fashion and iconography. So Hatsune Miku was really big in like the early 2000s, especially the 2010s, where she had different collabs with Tesla, Katy Perry. Um, I'm blanking on just how many and just what other stuff Hatsune Miku did, but for a while she was very popular. And actually, in 2018 Coachella, or was it 2019 Coachella, before things shut down for COVID, Hatsune Miku was set to make a performance at Coachella, and that was supposed to skyrocket her. But stuff happened, and it's like now that, and that's one of the like that's the one of the funny things, but also kind of sad, is like because of the pandemic, so many people got into anime and K-pop culture and J-pop culture and stuff like that, to where where it's become mainstream and people love it and see it as cool. When like literally Like not even 5 years ago, y'all were like making fun of the anime kids. Like that's kind of some folks should show their true colors. Like honestly, as soon as something becomes mainstream, it's like, oh, this is cool now. Like, oh yeah, Hatsune Miku was big. Like, she was real big in the U.S. At least for a small while, and then she just sort of like faded into obscurity. You know what? Honestly, I would love a keeping up with the Kardashian style like Vocaloid, or maybe like a keeping up with the Kardashian style like just different VTuber and online personalities where it's like this comedic thing. Like you know they're fake people, but it's still funny to see like their animated drama and stuff like that. And that'd be very entertaining. I'd love it. You see, how is it that I'm coming up with all these ideas and ain't nobody hired me yet? Isn't that wild? Like, I'd be thinking of different shows and different stuff to make and different ideas for people, and like nobody's stumbled upon these streams and say, ooh, this guy has some good ideas, let's give him a job. Or, ooh, let's do what he's saying. Like, I'm sitting in my room at my computer working on animation, coming up with so many different show ideas and different movie ideas and different things people can do, and people are just like, you know what? We're just not gonna listen to this guy. He can just stay in his room, and like we're not gonna listen. Like he can just do him, and I'm like y'all could be opening studios across the U.S. Y'all could be making shows like this and that, and I'm just here, like literally free ideas from a small creator on YouTube, and I'm coming up with 20 different things. The world is wild. Like honestly, at this point, I think some people just like to suffer. Like, I know that sounds horrible for me to say, but I think some people just like to suffer, and that's just the truth. What is the world? What is life right now? Where somebody can come up with ideas for free on the internet and still not have anything? I don't have anything. Well, I mean that's not true. I still have my life. At least I have that. Like I still have my life, and I haven't gotten into any like YouTube drama, so that's good. At least something's happened. Like it's not all bad. There's still hope for me. So I don't think art necessarily needs serial numbers because metadata exists. So essentially, how it works and operates is files like JPEGs, PNGs, PDFs, even they are built upon data. And so there's already essentially, I guess you could say, serial numbers for that data. Where if you put it through a reader, like Premiere Pro has a reader, Photoshop has a reader, I'm pretty sure Acrobat and other just file reading services and products in general have readers in which they can see when a file is created as well as when a file is updated and the different sort of set or series of updates that happen. And so all you really need to do is just set a value or set a number to the times of edits to those specific edits. And that's really all you need. Metadata is already a thing. So there's really no need for serial numbers. I'm gonna come back to this frame. It didn't really turn out how I wanted it to. Yeah, that's one of the things is people often forget that there are already sort of services as well as different safeguards in place for the sale of digital copies, digital PDFs, products like that. So things like NFTs, while in concept are a good idea, by technicality they already exist because you have services like Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and even to an extent OnlyFans that paywall certain products, images, videos, and the like, where you have to be a member or you have to pay a certain secondary fee in tandem with your membership in order to view certain products. There's already a precedent for that, so things like NFT art technically isn't necessary. And then you also have, again, Patreons, which comes from the Greek idea of a patron, the Greek and Renaissance era idea of a patron, in which you pay someone to create art or you pay someone to complete art as a public service. as well as private services. Many churches, many Christian churches actually patroned artists for different statues, structures, stained glass windows. The I believe the Sistine Chapel is the one with the roof art where I believe it was Van Gogh. No, not Van Gogh. It was Da Vinci who painted the Sistine Chapel with like different depictions of religious stories and figures along the ceiling and walls, like the Christian church patroned artists. It's already 11 o'clock and I've been streaming for about an hour and 12 minutes. I think I'll go for maybe an extra 10 and then I'll sign off. Now, things like speed paints, there's definitely a market for it. And it can be some quick videos, or you could do entire guided live streams or guided videos talking about people and going through your process. People definitely like seeing art that is being worked on. Like when I'm at work and whenever I bust out my sketchbook, people like to watch me. People like to watch me draw. They ask me what I'm drawing, my process. So there's definitely a precedent for watching people art and watching their process. And so you can go into detail and say, like, oh, I'm using red to show passion, or oh, I'm trying to shade this. So I decided to take some purple and then use my blur tool or use my mixing brush to better accentuate the curvature of the face. Different things like that. Now, I'm almost done with this. This is actually turning out to be quite nice. I just need to add some color. Oh, and I also need to do the eyes and face. And the horns. And the hair. But the basic motion is almost done, which is something I'm very excited to see come to fruition. And I think after this, I'm definitely going to go back to working on my prologue comic. So I am working on a prologue comic for Witches 13. I haven't given up on this project yet. So like my entire overarching plan sorta is to just work on this like project to project, at least until I can start crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. Because what I'm really excited for is the fact that my home city is definitely working more towards small businesses, which is something I'm very excited for and I'm very happy about. So I think my plan moving forward is to keep working on like smaller pseudo projects that also build the world of Witches 13. So then when I'm finally ready to start a Kickstarter and start crowdfunding for my project, as well as getting into contact with old college associates as well as other people I've met, I can sort of fund the project and in kind fund my future studio. Because I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not gonna wait on anybody. Okay, like yeah, strikers keep striking. Like you're doing good with the strike, but I still think y'all should be opening your own studios and going abroad. Like, don't stay in Hollywood. At this point, Hollywood is kind of just. I may get heat for this. Like, there's gonna be one day, either a year or 5 years in the future, where they're going to pull up this live stream and say like, "Oh, this guy Owoh's Corner said that Hollywood wasn't necessary. We should all pull out support from him." But that's future me's problem. I still do think that y'all need to go abroad and y'all just need to get up out of Hollywood and go somewhere else. Look at me, I'm going on the whole side tangent. Um, I'm still opening my studio in the future. While I would like to have at least some industry experience so that I can build connections and build rapport with other people. If I don't get it, then I don't get it. Like my entire plan is if I don't get an industry job at least by the age of maybe 25, 26, I think I'll just move forward with starting my own studio. While I would prefer to start my studio in my 30s, if I have to start it sooner, then I'll start it sooner. And I already have like 320 subscribers. Oh yes, thank you everyone for subscribing. I'm up to 320. And so when I reach 500, I plan on doing a special 4-hour extra long live stream. So please look forward to that. It's going to be very fun and very exciting. That's sort of my own little self plug right there. And then when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I plan on doing like a Q&A. So likely when I reach 800 or 900, I'll make a community post and say like, hey, when I reach 1,000, I'll do a Q&A. Leave your questions for me down here below, and we'll go from there. Look at me, I'm already talking about the future, and the future isn't even assured yet, but honestly, it's the small things, like just imagining your future and just imagining how much hard work and how much hope you have in a project. It keeps you going. That's why I think people definitely need a mission in life, or at least a goal or an idea for themselves. Is that idea and that hope for the future is going to keep you alive. I know that's very like spiritual, but it's honestly true. Like the future keeps you going, and thinking about your future and thinking about how successful and happy you can be can keep you going in life. Honestly, it's something I hope for, well, everybody. I hope that everybody has a happy future and has an idea for their future. And not just for selfish reasons, but for something that could potentially feasibly make the world a better place. I think that everyone should at least try to make the world a better, more easier place. Not just be concerned about your own means and ends, but genuinely try to make things better for everybody. And so that is what is at the core of me wanting to open my own studio is, and yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I am upset that the industry is hard to get into. I am genuinely upset that it's hard for me to get a job and find a job and find a way to have my first big break into the industry. But I still think that there is a chance. I still think and believe that things can be better. And so, if there is this move and push to have AI artists, AI animators, AI writers, and storytellers and actors, then it's not up to you to talk to other people and see if they can change their ideas or change their minds. It is up to you to secure your own future and secure your own values and beliefs, which is why you can strike all you want and definitely strike. If you genuinely think that you can change minds, change hearts, change ideas, of course, there is never hopelessness in changing hearts and changing minds. But in that same vein, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't solely depend on this strike going through and you getting more pay, getting bigger writer rooms, getting better industry benefits. Sometimes you do have to go out of your comfort zone and start your own and do your own. Art, by its nature, is able to visualize and give a visible representation of what someone is thinking or feeling, their ideas or mindsets. And so you are able to connect with people through your art in subtle and overt ways. And so, through understanding other people and through understanding other people through art, you can then, by proxy, understand yourself and grow and develop. And in the vein of resharing AI art, I do think that AI art is here to stay. But I also believe that there is going to be, it is just going to become a gimmick. And not a gimmick in the sense of it's going to be easily ignored. Rather, there is going to be a sense of category. Like, you know how some people have the category of high fantasy, others have science fiction, people like horror, people like comedy. AI art is merely that. It's just adding to a list of different gimmicks and genres that people can indulge in and watch. But there will always be those, and it can be the older generation, it can be the newer, younger generation, but there is always going to be those who like to read, indulge, and enjoy stories from actual other people. Because there is, again, that human element, that soul, passion, and connection that those conscious decisions that artists, writers, actors make that may be able to that just may be able to be reproduced with AI, but there's still going to be a different feeling to it. It's sort of almost a spiritual feeling and connection that people just feel it and know, and there's really no word to describe it other than just that spiritual. It's like something that's ingrained in our souls and what makes us alive, that allow us to connect and empathize with people. So while AI art and AI writing and storytelling is here to stay, there will always be room for the people. There will always be room for the people. AI is just merely a tool. But anyway, that's my belief. It is 11:15 now, so I do have to go. Thank you, Kyliko, and everyone else who stopped by. I really enjoyed the company, and I really enjoyed working on this project a little bit before I went to work. I stream Tuesdays and Fridays, usually around noon, so watch out for that. Um, on Tuesdays, I usually go for about an hour to an hour 15 minutes. On Fridays, I like to go a bit longer, so I'll start at 10 and I'll probably stop at like 12 or 1. I like to get in my extra long streams on Fridays to make up for my shorter ones on Tuesdays. I have a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee in the description below, as well as a Fiverr account. I also have links to other social media down below. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I'll see you guys in my next video or stream. Bye.